You wake up before the alarm again. But this time, it's not fear pulling you out of sleep. It's habit. You reach for the phone anyway, old muscle memory. And there it is, 6 figures. The first digit a 1 instead of a 0. You've seen this number before, scrolled past it in headlines, heard people throw it around like a punchline. Must be nice. But nobody tells you what actually happens the day it's your name next to it. It's not a party. It's not a Ferrari. It's a Tuesday, same as always. You set the phone down and lie there for a second longer than usual, and something in your chest, some old tight thing that's been there since you were 23, quietly lets go.
Because here's what nobody says about $100,000. It isn't 10 times better than $10,000. It's a different species of number entirely. $10,000 buys you the ability to survive a bad month. $100,000 buys you the ability to survive a bad year, a layoff, a diagnosis, a business that fails, a relationship that ends and splits everything in half. At $10,000, you stopped being afraid of the small hits. At $100,000, you stop being afraid of the ones that are supposed to end people. If you want the real mechanics of what money does to a person, not the highlight reel, not the guru version, subscribe, because this is the only channel that's going to walk you through it honestly.
$100,000 doesn't make you rich, but it's the number where the account stops being a cushion and starts being a weapon. Your landlord calls. Rent's going up $400 a month, effective in 60 days. Take it or leave. Before $100,000, this is a crisis dressed as an email. You do the math in a panic. You start looking at listings you can't afford in neighborhoods further from your job. You consider a roommate at 34 years old because the alternative is worse. You take the increase. You always take the increase. The cage doesn't ask permission.
After $100,000, the same email lands different. You read it twice. You calmly calculate that moving costs less than 2 years of the increase. And for the first time, you're not choosing between bad options. You're choosing between 2 decisions you can actually afford to make. You call 3 places. You negotiate with your current landlord, and you negotiate like someone who doesn't need him, because you don't. He drops the increase to $150. He didn't do that for you. He did it because you stopped being a person he could count on staying scared. Money doesn't buy leverage. It buys the willingness to walk, and that willingness is the only leverage that's ever existed.
Your friend pitches you on a business idea over drinks. Before 6 figures, you laugh it off. Say, maybe someday. Go home, forget about it, because someday requires capital you've never had and can't imagine having. After $100,000, you don't say yes immediately. You're not reckless now, you're calculated. But you actually run the numbers. You could put $15,000 into this and still sleep at night. You could lose it and still have a floor under you. That's the whole difference. Not that you say yes to everything, that you're finally allowed to seriously consider anything at all. The market shifts, mortgage rates climb, headlines scream recession. You used to feel that news in your stomach like a threat aimed at you personally. Now you read it and feel something closer to curiosity. Recessions are when the desperate sell to the patient. You just realized which one you are now.
Your parents start asking you advice instead of giving it. It happens slowly enough that you almost miss it. Your dad, who spent 30 years telling you how the world works, calls to ask what a Roth IRA actually is. Your mom mentions, almost embarrassed, that she's never had savings past a few $1,000s her whole life. You don't feel superior, you feel something heavier, a kind of quiet grief for the version of you that used to need them to fix things, and the realization that the roles just switched, permanently, without anyone announcing it. You notice something at family dinners you never noticed before. The cousin who always has a get-rich scheme. The uncle who corners you about crypto. The sibling who needs to explain why their financial choices were actually smart. You used to nod along, half listening, because you had nothing to compare it to. Now you just see it clearly. Most people talk about money the way they talk about diets, loudly, defensively, and rarely while actually doing the thing that works.
You stop needing to prove anything at that table. Silence has never felt so unbothered.
The wedding invitation used to be dread. A flight, a hotel, a gift, an outfit. $800 you didn't have disguised as an obligation you couldn't say no to. You went anyway, every time, and came home tighter than before. Now the invitation is just an invitation. You RSVP yes because you want to be there, not because saying no would require an explanation you weren't ready to give. You buy a gift you actually chose, not the cheapest one that wouldn't look cheap. Small thing. Changes everything about how the whole trip feels in your body.
Here's the part that surprises people most. You start giving money away, and it has nothing to do with generosity as a virtue. It's simpler than that. At $10,000, every dollar out the door felt like risk. At $100,000, you help a friend cover rent for a month and don't think about it again. Not because you're a better person now, because scarcity was never a personality trait. It was a math problem, and you finally solved enough of it to remember you liked people all along. You wake up. Same nightstand, same phone face down, same six-figure number a little higher than last week because you left it alone and the market did what it does. You don't check it out of fear this time. You barely check it at all. You make coffee. Somewhere out there is a bill you haven't thought about, a repair that hasn't happened yet, a bad month waiting its turn like it always does. $100,000 didn't cancel any of that. Life is still exactly as unpredictable as it was the day you had nothing. What's different is you. The version of you built entirely out of what you couldn't afford to lose, that version is gone, or at least quiet enough now that you forget she was ever running the show.
You say no in rooms where you used to say yes. You ask for what you're worth because you've watched, in your own account, in your own name, that you can survive being told no back. You stopped performing fine for people who were never really watching and started actually building the life the performance was supposed to be covering for. $100,000 isn't the finish line. Anyone who tells you it is hasn't gotten there yet. But it's the number where the math finally stops running in the dark, where the account stops being something you're afraid of and starts being something that works for you while you sleep. You close the app. The ceiling doesn't scare you anymore. That's it. That's what changes.